The Lord is doing this because he's justifying his actions. The Lord is justified to destroy the wicked. And the Lord has, what did the Lord say? The Lord said he has warned the wicked of his wicked ways. So the Lord warns you, hey, don't do that, hey, don't do that. The Lord, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we're out here, because we're telling everybody to turn, you know, obviously these heathens are cooked, man. There's no going back for them. But you Israelites, man, 2/3. Even though you're not going to hearken, we still get the blood off our hands. We're still going to warn you, we're still going to tell you, right? So again, it says, sendeth the plagues. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. And who is he that can drive them away? No one's going to be able to drive away. Okay? All right? And even Esau ain't going to have an answer neither. Okay? Because there's going to be some plagues that Esau, oh shit, I didn't do that. You know, who did that? You know? All right? There's going to be sickness after sickness, disease after disease, plague after plague, all of it back to back to back. Trouble is going to increase more and more and more. All right? Y'all thought you never seen a zombie. Now you're going to see a zombie. Literally. You're going to see people eating other people. You're going to see people acting rage-like and violent. All right? Just like 28 days later. Just like The Walking Dead. All that. All right? Then you're going to have bandits and groups. It's literally going to look like a post-apocalyptic war. Like a war zone out here. All right? It's going to be a war zone. There's going to be so much chaos and destruction and death. You're not even going to know what the hell to say. You're not even going to know what to do. Okay? And then that's why in that day, that's why the Lord said, they shall seek me in that day, because there's going to be literally no hope other than to pray to who they know as God. All right? They're not going to have their money no more. They're not going to have no more. They're not going to have their gun. They're not going to have none of that, man. All they're going to have to do is literally revert back to default settings and pray to who they know as God. That's it. All right? And the Lord is not going to hear their prayers, man. Verse 9, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? Verse 10, he casts lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Verse 11, the Lord shall threaten, who shall not be utterly beaten to the powder at his presence? Verse 12, the earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, and the sea ariseth up. The Lord's literally describing natural disasters, earthquakes, sea levels rising. Okay, because all the Lord really got to do is turn up the pressure from way underneath, from the centers of the earth. You're gonna have volcanoes erupting, which I did that one video on, like what it was like 10 natural disasters. Those volcanoes, tsunamis, hurricanes, all that. I was doing a video on that. Okay, and that was us going into fall, like our season over here going into fall. Okay, that's all the Lord got to do. The Lord is going to turn up the heat a little bit. Okay, the Lord got to shake, like Esau likes to describe, the tectonic plates in the earth. Shake that up a little bit, cause a little earthquake. That's going to cause a little tsunami. That's the sea levels rising. But when the water starts to rise, all it's doing is really the water is getting pushed. If you go on YouTube, go watch how tsunami starts. All that's happening is the water is getting pushed back, and then all of it is coming over at once, so that it overshores onto land. That's all it does. Okay? That's all it does, man. That's all the Lord got to do. Okay? Take everybody out. And don't be surprised in that time if you see California, Florida. You're going to see a little bit of American cities underwater. You really are. You're going to see some American cities underwater. Like California. You might see maybe even Texas. Who knows? Okay? Probably Florida. The Lord's going to drown out those wicked cities, man. They're going to literally be flooded to the brim. Okay? A lot of cities, and even other cities around the world too, because there's a lot of cities that, you know, are close to water. Islands are going to flood. All them islands are going to flood, man. Like Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, all them islands are going to flood. That's all they ever do anyways. Okay? All them islands are going to flood. All of it. There's too much water around there. They're all going to flood. They're going to come over shore. That's what's going to happen. All right? Let's keep going. It says, and the waves from the deep, and the waves are from the troubled, and the fishes also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. Verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. Look, again, the Lord's talking about this, right? And you tell me if this is a human doing this, right? His arrows that are shoot is sharp and shall not miss. Okay? So obviously, for those of you that know, a human that shoots a bow and arrow, okay, they can miss. All right, but missiles, they don't miss. They have homing, sinking missiles. Once it's locked onto it, it's literally programmed into the missile. The missiles have computerized tracking signals, man. All right, which they call heat sinker. There's heat sinkers, and I'm pretty sure there's thermal. There's different types. Okay, but once those missiles are locked, man, it's gonna hit its target, man. Okay, that's gonna be the end of America. Okay, once those missiles hit, that's the end of America. That's the end of BL. That's after the Karagma, aka the Mark of the Beast. Okay, that's after the Jacob's Trouble. That's after the martial law. That's after the plagues. Okay, that's after the race wars, the class wars, whatever you want to name it. After all of that, the end all be all is going to be hitting America. Not only America, it's going to hit other parts of the world too. Russia, Israel. Israel going to get laid up too. That wicked ass place, man. All right, they turned our sanctuary into wickedness, man. They're throwing sodomite parades and all that. All right, that's what they're doing, man. That's what they're doing. They're throwing sodomite parades up in there. The Lord's gonna end that place, man. Okay, and those people too. Those wicked ass people. All right, because that's not the people that's supposed to be in that land. And then they're claiming they praise the Lord, but then behind closed doors, you already know what they're doing with them children. You already know what's popping up in there, man. I didn't need to say nothing no more. If you're not hip to what's going on, you lost in the sauce. Okay, the Lord's gonna light all these countries on fire. Okay, and a lot of these world leaders, man, you know what they're gonna do while their people are dying? Go and hide in a bunker. That's all they ever do. The president's always evacuated, always first, man. While everyone else is dying, everyone's getting sick, and everyone's starving. Yeah, that's what happens. All right, that's why people don't regard the kings at that time, because they don't regard you. They're not evacuating you by the masses. By flooding, you know, they're not evacuating you at an emergency like state. They're letting you die. All right. Keep thinking they care about you, man. They don't give a damn about you. You're the least of the priority, man. All right. Shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to shoot into the ends of the world. How can an archer, a human being like me, shoot a freaking arrow across the earth? It's not possible, man. All right, so the Lord's clearly talking about a machine of something similar to an arrow, which is what? An ICBM, a missile. Okay, the launch station is the arrow. Okay, the launch station is the arrow. Okay, are the archer, Salakia. The launch station is the archer, okay? And the arrow, okay, is the literal missile itself that's getting shot, okay? That's what it is, okay? No human can shoot an arrow across the earth, man. That's you already know, man. Don't be simple, okay? You know that's an ICBM nuclear warhead, okay? And they have different kinds of that too. They have ones that can destroy continents. They have ones that can destroy a whole city. One missile. Imagine if they're shooting 50 of them and they're hitting all over America, man. That's leveling the whole goddamn place, man. You gotta remember too, Russia, China, those aren't the only places. There's little countries now with ICBM nuclear missiles and all that, man. Everyone got nuclear missiles now. That's why these people are not scared of Esau no more, because they can do some damage themselves. They're not tripping either. Okay, they're not tripping either, man. They can do some damage themselves. All right. Them little ones and all that, the Lord was talking, also, the Lord was referring to them other nations, man. Because them other nations, they was little too. They couldn't fight. Like World War I, World War II, they couldn't fight. That's why Esau was running the show. Taking over land and hopping up in there and doing whatever he wanted to do because he had the sword. Esau really had the sword before. Like no one can compete with his sword. No one can come up in there. No one can come up in his country and do anything. But Esau could do it to everybody else. Now everyone's got a gun. Now everyone's got ICBMs. Now everyone's got biological warfare weapons and all this and that. Now everybody's smart. Now every country got a scientist that can, conjure up something. So Esau don't have the gun no more, man. Everybody has the gun. Everybody has a sword now. Okay? Esau not the only one. All right. Verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return. All right. Until they come upon the earth. So the plagues are not going to return. You know, once the Lord sends them plagues, it's not going to return. It's not going to just disappear out of nowhere. No, it's going to consume. That's the thing with a plague. A plague consumes until it can't consume no more. A plague will literally consume until it can't consume no more. And once it's done consuming, it's just there. It's literally just there. That's what plagues do. All right? They don't leave. Verse 15. The fire is kindled, it should not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Okay, which is the ICBMs. Okay, oh man, those are thousands of degrees Fahrenheit of heat. Okay, heat that will melt your flesh off the damn bone, off of just the blast alone. You know how hot the blast is. Imagine the actual you being the fire, and you're all the way over here. And the missile gets, obviously goes off. Guess what? It can literally blind you. Okay, that's why you need goggles to look at a missile going off.